history, culture, and science of agriculture in South Dakota. To learn more about exhibits and events, you can visit agmuseum.com.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by D.O. Bike and Fitness. Located at 1738 6th Street in Brookline, South Dakota, D.O. is a place for all things bikes. Offering top brands such as Trap and Electra, this close-to-campus store has both bike and e-bike options. Remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a bike, and that's pretty close. 692-2022 is the number to call for this full-service and sales store. D.O. is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio KSDJ 90.7.
It's a beautiful November evening here in Brookings, South Dakota, as the Jackrabbits get ready to face off against the Oral Roberts University Golden Eagles in women's volleyball. The Jackrabbits 23-1, taking their only loss last week to the St. Thomas Tommies here in a heartbreaker in the fifth set, losing by 2. Oral Roberts, they're not doing so hot so far on the record. The Golden Eagles 4 for 22 overall record and 2 for 11 in conference play for the Golden Eagles. But it's the last home game tonight for the Jackrabbits, and it's senior night here in First Bank and Trust Arena. South Dakota State honoring seniors Rachel Weber, Sophie Johnson, Annalie Ventling-Brown, Alyssa Groves, and Cameron Hahn as they move on after this to graduation and their future careers. Congratulations to them moving on here after South Dakota State University. But it's not over for the Jackrabbits. They still got this one to go and a couple more after that. Headed on to the Summit League tournament there. Interestingly enough, the Jackrabbits have only won one Summit League title. That was back in 2007. So if the Jackrabbits can do it again, it'll be only the second time that they've done it and gone to the NCAA tournament, where they are 0 for 1 in that tournament. That was back in 2007, as previously stated. Interestingly enough, again, Riley Martin is just 2 service aces away from the single season service ace record for the Jackrabbits at 36. Martin has 34 right now, so we'll be looking at that one. Hopefully Martin can come away with 2 here at home, and we'll definitely be able to give you the news as soon as that happens. So, starting lineup here for the Jackrabbits, we got Rachel Weber out there, Madison Burr as well, Sylvie Zonks, of course, and Sydney Shetnan. Those 2 being some of the star players here for the Jackrabbits. And next up for the Jacks, number 15, Alyssa Groves, 6'4", one of those seniors graduating here this year. Next up, number 20, Cameron Hahn, another one of the seniors that will be graduating. One of your liberos tonight, number 17, Jocelyn Richardson. And your alternate libero tonight, number 14, Aaliyah Schlimgen. So that's your Jackrabbits starting lineup going against the Golden Eagles tonight. Hopefully the Jackrabbits can come out with a win here in the last game at home. It should, but always entertaining to watch Jackrabbits volleyball here. Some of the best athletics events I've seen in my entire career here as a Jackrabbit. Definitely volleyball this year. Put in some showstoppers out there, especially that USD game here. That was amazing. And that loss last week against St. Thomas, another good one here at First Bank and Trust Arena. I mean, it was close. The Jacks almost came back to win that one. Not quite. So, first set goes up on the board. 2 timeouts awarded to each team. And the Jackrabbits will be on the near side to meet Oral Roberts on the far side to start this. Roberts, looks like they have Ainsley Renard out there, as well as Kendra Burke. Number 8, Natasha Baptiste. Number 12, Trinity Freeman. Number 15, Hope Hickman. And number 17, Rachel Resta. Those look like the starting lineups there. And Libero comes in. Instead of Kendra Burke, it will be number 6, Tayanara De Jesus. So Rachel Weber behind the line to start this one off for the Jackrabbits on the serve. Serve up and away and bounds, picked up by De Cruz. And back spiked over, De Jesus. And it's going to be Zonks sending a spike back out of bounds. So point goes to Oral Roberts. They lead right away here in the first set, 0-1 over the Jackrabbits. Tayanara De Jesus behind the line here. She's all the way from Sao Paulo, Brazil. On the serve, picked up by Rachel Weber. Hahn sets up Zonks for the spike. Zonks on the kill there. Laid it down in the back row. 1-1 here in the first set. Madison Burr, the freshman for the Jackrabbits. She's 6'1", out of Goodhue, Minnesota. Burr's serve, picked up by Ainsley Renard. Sent back over by Oral Roberts. Burr sets up Zonks, gets blocked up front, and the Jackrabbits moving again. Zonks going to try another spike. This one out of bounds off the blocker's hands, and the Jackrabbits going to pick up that point. 2-1. Jacks up by 1 in the set number 1. Madison Burr still serving. Burr's serve bumped up by Oral Roberts, sent back over by Kendra Burke, and Weber can't get under it. Point for over Oral Roberts. 2-2 set number 1. Trinity Freeman on the serve, picked up by Richardson, sent back over by Groves. That's going to be a kill for number 15, Alyssa Groves. 3-2, Jackrabbits leading by 1. Make some substitutions, bring in Ventling Brown and Riley Martin. It will be Riley Martin serving now. She needs 2 more service aces tonight to tie the service ace Jackrabbit record at 36. She needs 3 to break that record. Martin's serve is up across the net, and it's an ace. An ace for Riley Martin. She moves 1 closer to that record, and she only needs 1 more to tie it. Riley Martin again behind the line. There we go, picked up by Martin, and not being able to be returned by Oral Roberts. 5-2. It was blocked up front by Zonks. Riley Martin serving again. Picked up by Oral Roberts. Spike sent across. Zonks on the block, but gets past her. Martin sets up Ventling Brown. She gets blocked up front. Martin setting up Zonks this time with the spike across. Oral Roberts setting something up, sends a spike. Martin on the dig. Zonks setting across to Ventling Brown. Her spike is out of bounds behind the back line. Serving now for the Golden Eagles, Hope Hickman. Hickman's serve picked up by Sylvie Zonks. Martin setting up Shetton for the spike and the kill. So Jackrabbits leading set number 1, 6-3. Katie Van Egdom comes in for the Jackrabbits. Sylvie Zonks serving. Here comes the serve across the net. Picked up by libero for Oral Roberts. Sent back across by Kendron Burke. Riley Martin setting up Van Igdam. Van Igdam blocked up front. Ventling Brown on the recovery. And it's Richardson and Van Igdam who get a miscommunication. Both go for the ball. And it's not effective at getting over the net. So it lands in the Jackrabbit end. 6-4. Jackrabbits up by 2. And Oral Roberts will be serving. It's Kendron Burke once again. Burke's serve picked up by Van Igdam. Martin setting up Van Igdam now for the spike. Blocked up front. Ventling Brown bumps. Martin sets. Van Igdam spiked once again. That time gets over the block and down to the court. Kill for Katie Van Igdam. 7-4. Jackrabbits up by 3 now. Set number 1. Jocelyn Richardson, your libero, behind the line. She's also pretty close to that service ace record. She has 27, needing 36. That one's not going to be an ace. Picked up by Oral Roberts. Sent back. Van Igdam to Martin. Burr on the spike. And Oral Roberts scrambling. Need to get it over in this hit, and they can't. Point for the Jackrabbits as Oral Roberts sent that one closer to the fan section as they did the net. So it's 8-4 with the Jackrabbits up by 4 now. Jocelyn Richardson still serving. Here comes Richardson, picked up by number 13, Jenna Sawyer. And it's Ventling Brown to Martin to Van Igdam, spiking across. And this one sent back, touched by the block. Martin dives for the recovery. And Van Igdam tips over the block. A good recovery there by Martin. Block is ineffective. Van Igdam recovers. Direct set by Martin on the second hit. And back over by Ainsley Renard off the fingertips of Ventling Brown and out of bounds. Martin can't get there quick enough for the recovery that time. Oral Roberts gets the point. It's 8-5. Jackrabbits lead it by 3. Some substitutions in for Oral Roberts. Serve coming across by Rachel Resta. Picked up by Ventling Brown on the spike. Dug up somehow by the Golden Eagles. Martin sets up Van Igdam. Van Igdam's blocked. Richardson bumping to Ventling Brown, who sends a spike to the back left corner in bounds. Kill for Annalie Ventling Brown. 9-5, Jackrabbits leading by 4. Set number 1, and now it's number 20, Cameron Hahn, serving for the Jackrabbits. Hahn serve over the net, in bounds, picked up by the libero, De Jesus. And it's going to be Alyssa Groves, whose block is not effective. Drops down in front of her on the Jackrabbit side of the court. So Golden Eagles point 9-6. Jacks ahead by 3. And it's going to be Shelby Steen serving for Oral Roberts. Zonks to Hahn. Burr with a spike off a wild bump, and Oral Roberts can't get there. Kill for Madison Burr. Rachel Weaver serving now for the Jackrabbits. Weaver sends it across, picked up by Hope Hickman. A laser sent down by Natasha Baptiste. And that one is touched by Richardson before flying out of bounds. So point for Oral Roberts. It's 10-7. Jacks ahead by 3. It will be Thayanara De Jesus serving behind the line from Sao Paulo, Brazil. Serve is away, picked up by Weber. Richardson, no, Hahn. Hahn bumping up for Sylvie Zonks. She sends a spike, a kill for Sylvie Zonks. 11-7, Jackrabbits leading set number 1. Madison Burr serving now. Burr's serve barely clears the top of the net, but does. Oral Roberts picks it up, sends back a spike. Zonks tries to block it. Weber on the recovery. Hahn bumps up for Zonks. She sends a spike of her own. Oral Roberts diving for the recovery there. They dig it up. Hahn has it set up to Weber. She sets up Zonks. Zonks sends a spike out of bounds. Point for ORU. 11-8. Jacks ahead by 3. Serving right now is Trinity Freeman for the Golden Eagles. Richardson bumps. Shetland tipping above the blockers. Picked up there. Sent back over. Groves on the block up front. (12-8). Jacks up by 4. Riley Martin is going to be serving now, looking for some more aces. Martin's serve up to the back row, picked up by De Jesus. Setting up their teammate, Hope Hickman. And Weber is on the dig. Zonks tips over, and Zonks will get the kill. Zonks now with 5 kills. And Oral Roberts is going to call a timeout. So we'll be right back here in about 30 seconds on Collegian Sports.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Welcome back here into First Bank in Trust Arena. I'm Ben Anderson. Brilliant Byers back in the studio for us. This is Collegiate Sports, and we are watching Jackrabbit volleyball here. Last home game of the season. They're going up against the Golden Eagles, Oral Roberts University. It's 13-8. Oral Roberts coming off of a timeout. Jackrabbits leading by 5, and it's Riley Martin serving. She needs 2 more to break the service ace season record for the Jackrabbits. Here it comes, and looked deep, but going to be played by Oral Roberts. They sent back a spike, and it's through the hands of the blockers, and point for Oral Roberts. Kill there by Hope Hickman. And it will be Hickman serving now, 13-9. Jacks up by 4. Hickman on the serve, picked up by Richardson. There's Riley Martin setting up Zonks. Spike and set down near the blockers on the Oral Roberts side. So kill for Sylvie Zonks, 14-9. Sylvie Zonks serving. Here comes a serve by number 10, picked up by Oral Roberts. Setting up Ainsley Renard there. Shetland missed the block and then turned around and tipped it up, but Martin was already diving at near the feet of Shetland, so it goes right over her dive and down to the court, so point for Oral Roberts there. 14-10, Jacks lead it by 4. Set number 1, serving now is Kendron Burke. Richardson on the bump. Martin setting up Van Igdam for the spike. Oral Roberts digs it up. Sends back a spike of their own. Martin on the dig there. Shetland tipping over. Oral Roberts sending back a spike of their own. And off the hands of Ventling Brown. Flies to the right and out of bounds. Point for Oral Roberts. 14-11. Jacks leading by 3. Again, it's Kendron Burke serving. Picked up by Van Igdam. There's Riley Martin setting up Shetnin for the spike. It's close to the line. And they're going to rule it in bounds. Shetnin with the kill there, 15-11. Jacks up by 4. Jocelyn Richardson serving. Serve picked up by De Jesus. A spike is blocked up front by Madison Burr. 16-11. Jackrabbits up. And Richardson still serving. Picked up by De Jesus again. Coming in for a bump, Monte Salabareta. Jocelyn Richardson on the dig. Martin setting up Ventling Brown. Spike comes in to the left, out of bounds. Monte Salabareta all the way from Santiago, Chile. So 2 players for Oral Roberts from South America. And then 1 player, Farah Halamu, from Cairo, Egypt as well. So Richardson bumps, sets up Martin. Burr on the spike, and Oral Roberts can't do anything with it. They had about 3 players touch it up by the net, and it just kind of slowly laddered down to the court. And point for the Jackrabbits, 17-12, up by 5 now. And Cameron Hahn back to serve. Hahn on the service, picked up by Salabareta, sent back over by Renard. Hahn sets up Burr. Van Igdam after the block by Oral Roberts. Direct set by Hahn. Oral Roberts sends a spike. Zonks diving and miss there by Zonks on the dig. Point for Oral Roberts, 17-13. Jacks up by 4. Shelby Steen serving right now for the Golden Eagles. Serve picked up by Zonks. Setting up. Burr is Hahn. Burr with the kill. Huge spike by Madison Burr into open space in the back left corner. Van Igdam serving now. Tips the top of the net but goes over. Burr gets the spike after the bump goes too close to the net by Oral Roberts. Burr jumps up, sets it down again. Madison Burr with 4 kills, 1 block so far throughout the first set. 19-13. Jacks up. Richardson on the dig, diving. That one goes directly over the net to Oral Roberts. They set a spike. Zonks tries to get a block, goes over her, and out of bounds. She does touch it, so point for Oral Roberts. 19-14. Jackrabbits up by 5. Set number 1. It's Tenara De Jesus serving for Oral Roberts. Picked up by Van Igdam. A little miscommunication with Richardson again. They both go for the same ball on the bump there, and they send it inaccurately. Miscommunication 2 times this has happened in the first set between Richardson and Van Igdam, costing the Jackrabbits 2 points. Won both times. So 19-15. Oral Roberts is up. De Jesus serving. Van Igdam to Zonks. Zonks with the laser to the back line. Inbounds. Kill for Sylvie Zonks. 20-15. Madison Burr subbing out for Sophie Johnson. And Sophie Johnson will be serving. Johnson's serve is into the net. Service error there by Sophie Johnson. 20-16. The Jacks will be up by 4. serve goes over, gets picked up by Van Igdam. Hahn sets up Zonks for the spike. And off the tip by the blockers. Point for the Jackrabbits, 21-15. Jackrabbits up, 22-15. Scoreboard goes up 2 clicks there. Maybe missed a point earlier. 22-15. No, back down to 21-15. That's what I thought. A little mistake there on the scoreboard. They go to 21-16 as they missed the point for Oral Roberts last time. So, a little bit of trouble with the scoreboard down there. New facility, so we'll give them a pass. 21-16. Set number 1. Riley Martin serving. Martin's serve to the back row, picked up by De Jesus. Sent back over by Oral Roberts, and it's Shetnin on the block. Oral Roberts sends back another spike. Martin setting Richardson, bumping, and Zonk sends a spike right to the arms of Shelby Steen, and it deflects off to her left and out of bounds. So point for the Jackrabbits, kill for Zonks, 22-16. Martin serving again. Martin serve to the back row. De Jesus. Direct set over. A whistle. Someone touched the net. Net violation on the Golden Eagles means the point goes to the Jackrabbits, 23-16, as the Jacks now leading sizably by 7 here in the first set. Riley Martin serving. Serve picked up by De Jesus again. Spike sent down, picked up by Van Igdam. Shetnin sends a spike out the back line, out of bounds. Point for Oral Roberts. Jackrabbits leading by 6, 23-17. Hope Higman serving for the Golden Eagles. Across to Van Igdam. Riley Martin sets up Shetnin for the spike to the center of the court. And Oral Roberts isn't set up for it, so it's set point in set number 1 for the Jackrabbits. 24-17 is the current score. It's going to be Sylvie Zonks behind the line. Serve is up and away. Into the back row. Oral Roberts sends over a tip. Martin bumps. Richardson sets. Ventling Brown lays it down. Annalie Ventling Brown puts it away in the first set, 25-17. The Jackrabbits will win set number 1. Set number 2 coming at you in about 3 minutes, so stick around. I'm Ben Anderson, Braden Byers back in the studio. This is Collegiate Sports, set number 2, right after this.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by locally owned Brookings PowerQuest. Located in the University Mall at 820 22nd Avenue South, you can find everything your ride needs. From essential auto parts to top-notch accessories and customer service, PowerQuest is a one-stop shop for Brookings. Their phone number is 692-6298. PowerQuest is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio, KSDJ 90.7.
Are you prepared for an emergency or disaster? Because it's not a matter of if, but when. Don't find yourself saying,
when the storm rolls in, my time to find a pet-friendly evacuation center will have run out.
The scorching heat wave will leave me powerless to cool my insulin.
I'll face a hurricane without meds. Now that's a tough pill to swallow.
Let's prepare so we all have a better story to tell. Get started at ready.gov/older adults. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by D.O. Bike and Fitness. Located at 1738 6th Street in Brooklyn, South Dakota, D.O. is a place for all things bikes. Offering top brands such as Trap and Electra, this close-to-campus store has both bike and e-bike options. Remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a bike, and that's pretty close. 692-2022 is the number to call for this full-service and sales store. D.O. is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio, KSDJ 90.7.
Babes, what are you doing?
What? I'm just mowing the lawn.
No, it's blazing hot and dry out here. Don't you remember? Smokey Bear says.
Avoid using power equipment when it's windy or dry.
Where'd you learn this?
Oh, it's on...
SmokeyBear.com with many other wildfire prevention tips.
Right. Thanks, Honey Bear.
Because remember, only you can prevent wildfires.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back into First Bank and Trust Arena for the second set of Jackrabbit Volleyball, facing off against the Oral Roberts University Golden Eagles. Now we switch sides of the court, so the Jackrabbit's going to be on the far side from me, Oral Roberts on the near side, and we're going to be playing set number 2 after the Jackrabbits take set number 1, 25-17 over the Golden Eagles. Let's take a look at some of the stats here. Who's doing good for the Jackrabbits? Of course, it's Sylvie Zonks. She has 9 kills tonight, 2 errors on 14 total attack. She has a hitting percentage of .500. And then let's go down. Let's check out Sydney Shetland. She has 3 kills tonight, 1 error for 6 total attacks. Hitting percentage of .333, 1 block for her. Madison Burr, she has 5 kills tonight on 6 total attacks, no errors. Hitting percentage of .833. And then you go down and you look at Riley Martin, who has an assist tonight, or 8 assists tonight, I should say, 1 service ace and 6 digs for her. Cameron Hahn, 7 assists there, 1 dig. Jocelyn Richardson, 3 assists, 2 digs there. Rachel Weber also, she has 1 assist there, 4 digs for Weber. So a lot of running around down there for those few. So we switch sides of the court. As previously stated, Golden Eagles on the near side, Jackrabbits on the far side. Rachel Resta serving for Oral Roberts. Serve clears the net. Richardson sends it a little too close. It gets sent back down by Oral Roberts. Richardson's there again. A spike coming in by Natasha Baptiste is fast and outside the box. So Jackrabbit scoring first, 1-4. Madison Burr serving now. Serve is up and away to the back row. Picked up by Hope Hickman. Jackrabbits, a little bit of trouble here. Off the dig, flies into the ground. Oral Roberts gets that point, 1-1 in set number 2. Shelby Steen behind the line for the Golden Eagles. Serve picked up by Richardson. She has to dive for it. Hahn bumps to Zonks. She's blocked up front. Shetland on the recovery. Zonks again spiking. Picked up by De Jesus that time. Oral Roberts sends back a spike close to the out-of-bounds line, but Richardson plays it. Might have been touched by the blockers. Zonks on the tip over the blockers. Diving is De Jesus. Weber has to dive for that one now, and Groves is blocked up front, but that block flies backwards and out of bounds. Point for the Jackrabbits. 2-1. Jackrabbits leading by 1 in set number 2. Riley Martin goes behind the line. Needs 1 more service ace to tie the service ace record. Needs 2 more to break the record at SDSU. Here's the serve. Picked up by Oral Roberts, sent back across. And it's Weber now bumping. Martin setting, and Vetling Brown with the spike. Whistle. Point for the Jackrabbits. Net violation by the Golden Eagles. 3-1. Jacks up by 2. Riley Martin still serving. Martin on the serve. Picked up by the back row. Shelby Steen. Spike sent down by Trinity Freeman. Point for the Eagles. 3-2, Jacks up by 1. Thayanara De Jesus serving for Oral Roberts. She's the libero. Tips the net and down. Service error for De Jesus. 4-2. Jackrabbits up by 2 now. Here in set number 2. Sylvie Zonks behind the line. Up and to the back row, and it's out of bounds. Out the back line. Service error for Sylvie Zonks. Point for Oral Roberts, 4-3. Jacks up by 1, and it will be Trinity Freeman serving now. Serve is to the back row, picked up by Richardson. Martin setting up. Van Igdam blocked up front by Kendron Burke. Point for Oral Roberts, tying up set number 2 at 4 apiece. Trinity Freeman serving again from the back row. Picked up by Richardson. Martin setting up Shetland, tips above. And easily picked up by Oral Roberts. Martin on the dig. Setting up Ventling Brown. Ventling Brown gets blocked up front. Zonks has to dive for the recovery. Van Igdam with a bump behind her back. Gets it back into playing territory. And point for Oral Roberts as a net violation called on the Jackrabbits. 4-5. Oral Roberts now leading for the first time, except for the beginning of the first set at 4-5. Shetland tipping above. De Jesus on the recovery for Oral Roberts. And Zonks now with the dig for the Jackrabbits. Van Igdam blocked up front by Kendron Burke. Her block goes out of bounds. Point for the Jackrabbits, ties up set number 2 at 5-all. Jocelyn Richardson behind the line. Richardson, serve picked up by Ainsley Renard. Block up front by Burr, and Oral Roberts can't recover. 6-5, Jacks up by 1 in set number 2. Jocelyn Richardson behind the line. Richardson serve. Picked up by Ainsley Renard. Spike sent over by Elena Larson. And a kill for her as the block by Ventling Brown forces the ball out of bounds on her touch. So 6-all in set number 2. This one a little bit closer than the first set. Hope Hickman serving for the Golden Eagles. Way too long. That one's out of bounds. Service error there. 7-6. Jacks up by 1. So Cameron Hahn's in and serving for the Jackrabbits. Hahn is a service ace for Cameron Hahn. Fayanara De Jesus diving, but a little shallow, and an ace for Cameron Hahn as it's 8-6 now. Jackrabbits leading by 2. Cameron Hahn serving again, picked up by De Jesus this time. Spike gonna get sent over, and Richardson on the dig. Groves pulls it in from out of bounds and set over by Zonks. Again, a spike comes in from Ainsley Renard, and Hahn can't get quite under it. Point for Oral Roberts as it's 8-7 now. Jacks are up by 1. Kendron Burke serving for the Eagles. Van Igdam bumping, and Hahn on the direct set over, and a kill for Cameron Hahn. Set over on hit number 2. And a kill for Cameron Hahn. 9-7. Jacks up by 2. Set number 2. Rachel Weaver, number 2, is behind the line serving for the Jackrabbits. Weaver's serve. Picked up by Brianna Rivas. Tipped over by Oral Roberts. Weaver diving. And Groves with the spike. Down into the court, and the kill for Alyssa Groves. 10-7. Jacks up by 3. And Weber serving. Weber off the arms of Ainsley Renard gets another service ace. Weber serving again. To the back row, it's De Jesus. Bumping and setting up. Ainsley Renard. Block up front by Groves, goes out of bounds. Point for Oral Roberts, 11-8. They are down by 3. Rachel Resta serving now for the Golden Eagles. Serve tips the top of the net and down on the Eagles' side. Service error for Rachel Resta. And it's now 12-8 with the Jacks leading by 4 here in set number 2. Freshman Madison Burr behind the line. And picked up by De Jesus. Back and bumping is Ainsley Renard across the net. Hahn sets up Zonks for the tip over. Shetnin with the block up front. And a point for the Jackrabbits. 13-8. Jackrabbits are going to be up by 5, and Oral Roberts is going to use one of their timeouts. So we'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back right here in about 30 seconds. You're listening to Collegiate Sports.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
A heads up before something bad happens.
You should not send that text.
Uh-oh. Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can reverse prediabetes and prevent or delay type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Welcome back in here to First Bank and Trust Arena. I'm Ben Anderson. Braden Byers with us in the studio. This is Jackrabbit Volleyball. Jacks leading set number 2. 1-0 sets over Oral Roberts. They are ahead in this one, 13-8. 5 points ahead of the Golden Eagles. Madison Burr currently serving. Serve is gonna be an ace for Madison Burr. De Jesus is gonna be responsible for that error and off the knuckles of her bump. Burr serving again. This time going to be picked up by Renard. Weber diving for that one. And Zonks sets it into the block. And down for the kill. 15-8, Jacks leading by 7 in set number 2. Madison Burr is going to get a service error there into the net. 15-9, Jacks ahead by 6 here. Keep in mind, Oral Roberts is 4 for 22 and 2-11 in conference play. Serving right now for Oral Roberts, and Richardson is going to be on the dig, and Groves with the spike and the kill. Kill for Groves there on the spike. And it's Martin back at it again, serving now. Martin picked up by De Jesus. Spiking over. Ventling Brown diving, but can't get there. Point for the Golden Eagles, 16-10. Jacks up by 6. Dayanara De Jesus serving. serve is up and away. Richardson bumping. Martin sets up Zonks! And Zonks sets down a spike right to the foot of a Golden Eagle. Almost, I mean, it could have been out of bounds even, but touches the foot of a Golden Eagle and then bounces out. So kill by Zonks. She's now serving. And into the net around where Shetland stands. So service error there by Zonks. 17-11. Jacks up by 6 in set number 2. Serving now for the Golden Eagles, it's Trinity Freeman. Freeman, serve, picked up by Van Egdom. Martin has to run over and just bump it up. Zonks sets across to the net. And a spike comes in, sent by Kentron Burke. And a point for the Golden Eagles. Kill there for Burke. 17-12, Jacks are up by 5. Trinity Freeman, Van Egdom setting. Zonks bumping. Van Egdom sends a spike. Picked up by Trinity Freeman. Martin on the dig. Richardson bumping. And Ventling Brown with the spike over. Barely makes it over the top of the net. Sent back by Oral Roberts. Van Egdom on the dig. Martin sets up Shetland. Shetland gets it over into Oral Roberts territory. They send back a spike. Blocked up front by Shetland. And Shetland is going to get that one for the Jackrabbits. 18-12. Jacks up by 6 now. Aaliyah Schlimgen, the other libero for the Jackrabbits, serving now. Picked up by Ainsley Renard and going to be sent over by Hope Hickman. Hickman's going to get the kill, found open space in the back row. 18-13, Jacks up by 5. So, Hope Hickman serving. Tips the top of the net, but makes it over. Van Egdom to Burr. Burr sends a spike. Oral Roberts digs it up. They send back a spike of their own. Richardson's there. Martin sets up Zonks. Blocked up front by Kentron Burke. And a kill there for Burke again. 18-14. Jacks are up by 4. Serving is Hope Hickman. Hickman to Van Egdom. Martin sets up Burr. Burr sets it down in the face of Hope Hickman for the kill. Some substitutions being made. Cameron Hahn in the back row serving now for the Jacks. Hahn serve up and to the back row. De Jesus. Sent down by Ainsley Renard. Out of bounds. Point for the Jacks. 20-14. Jacks up by 6. And the Eagles going to burn their last time out of the set. So we'll be back in about 30 seconds. You're listening to Collegian Sports.
This is your captain. We are going to be experiencing some slight turbulence. Please fasten your... Oh, hold on. Just got a video of my cat.
Imagine the pilot of an airplane was as confident as you are texting and driving. Seems kind of crazy when you put it like that.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back here to First Bank and Trust Arena for Jackrabbit Volleyball. I'm Ben Anderson. Brandon Byers with us in the studio. Jackrabbits currently leading set number 2, 20-14, as Oral Roberts used their last time out of the set. Coming to an end right now. So, Jack's up by 6. They're also up 1 set over Oral Roberts, winning the first set there, 25-17. So, Cameron Hahn serving now for the Jackrabbits. Serve away, picked up by De Jesus. Bumped over by Renard. Richardson to Hahn, setting up Van Igdam for the spike. Or Roberts all over it. Sends back another spike. Hahn's there for the dig. Zonks to Van Igdam. Van Igdam spiking over, sent back by Oral Roberts. Burr. Hahn to Burr, to the back right corner. A kill for Madison Burr, assisted by Cameron Hahn. 21-14, Jacks up by 7. Hahn serving, and into the net. Service error by Cameron Hahn there. Point for Oral Roberts. It's going to be 21-15 now. Jacks up by 6. Serving is Kendron Burke for Oral Roberts. Picked up by Zonks. Hahn sets up Groves. Groves blocked up front. And point for the Eagles. 21-16. The Jacks are up by 5. Lead dwindling here late in the second set. And Burke still serving. Zonks to Hahn, setting up Van Igdam for the spike. A bump straight across for Burke. And point for the Jackrabbits as out of bounds off the block of number 13, Jenna Saylor. 22-16. Jacks are up by 6 now. Van Igdam serving. Picked up by Hope Hickman. Hickman sent back over. Richardson. And flags waving as the Jackrabbits are going to have a violation. And then point for Oral Roberts. So 22-17, the Jackrabbits up by 5 here. Rachel Resta serving now. Resta's serve, picked up by Richardson. There's Cameron Hahn setting up Groves. Groves to the back row. Thayanara De Jesus. A whistle, and there's going to be a net violation up front by Oral Roberts. Point for the Jackrabbits. 23-17. Jacks up by 6 here at the end of set number 2. Here comes Sophie Johnson serving. Another one of the seniors here. Johnson picked up by De Jesus. Here's Resta, who gets it to her teammate Freeman. Hahn sets up Groves. Her spike goes out the back line, out of bounds. 23-18. Jackrabbits are up by 5. Here's Ainsley Renard serving now for the Golden Eagles. To Zonks in the back row. Hahn setting up Groves. Groves with the spike. And too far again for Alyssa Groves. Out of bounds on the back line. And it's now Jackrabbits leading by only 4, 23-19. Set number 2. Ainsley Renard serving. Picked up by Zonks. Zonks, Hahn setting up Zonks for the spike and the kill for Sylvie Zonks. Now it's set point here, 24-19. Here comes Riley Martin on the serve. With the serve, picked up by De Jesus. And down It's going to be an ace. An ace for Riley Martin. That means Riley Martin at the end of the second set, 25-19, Jackrabbits win it. She has now tied that service ace all-time record at South Dakota State University. She now has 36 service aces. That is tying the record. She needs one more to break that record here tonight in her last home game of the season. So we'll see if that happens here in the third set. We've got about 4 minutes until that happens. Until then, I'm Ben Anderson, Brendan Byers in the studio. You're listening to Collegian Sports. Stick around.
So what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Support comes from the South Dakota Agricultural Heritage Museum in Brookings, inspiring a passion for the diverse history, culture, and science of agriculture in South Dakota. To learn more about exhibits and events, you can visit agmuseum.com.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is often laced into illicit drugs and used to make fake versions of prescription pills. You can't see it, taste it, or smell it. Suppliers mix fentanyl into their products because it's potent and cheap, and the dealer might not even know. Keep yourself and others safe by knowing the real deal on fentanyl. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
Most people out here think that taking care of one another is important. And most people would step up for a neighbor going through a tough time. Most people around here help out friends and family when they need it. But the funny thing is, most of us won't look for help when we need it. Talk to someone if you're struggling with mental health, because most people out here really care. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Welcome back in to First Bank in Trust Arena. I'm Ben Anderson. Braden Byers with us. Getting ready for the third set. About a minute until that one kicks off. The Jackrabbits just won set number 2, 25-19, and Riley Martin got another service ace. She has 2 of those tonight, which means she has tied the all-time South Dakota State University service ace record at 36. She needs one more to break that record here in the last home game of the season. She'll have more opportunities to do that, of course, away. There's a couple more games for the Jackrabbits. They play North Dakota on November 16th. That'll be in Grand Forks. And then South Dakota on November 19th. That'll be in Vermilion. And then we go to the Summit League Championships. So what's going on right now for South Dakota State? Sylvie Zonk still on top for kills there She has 12 of those, 3 errors, 22 total attacking attempts, hitting percentage of .409. She has 1 dig as well. Madison Burr has 8 kills tonight on 10 total attacks. Hitting percentage is .800. Her 1 dig as well, and 2 blocks for Madison Burr. Sydney Shetton, she has 1 kill, 1 error, 10 total attempts, .300 hitting percentage for her. 1 dig, 2 blocks up front for Sydney Shetton. So we're ready to get underway here for the 3rd set. So we switch sides of the court again. The Jackrabbits on my near side now, and Oral Roberts is going to be on the far side. It's going to be Rachel Weber back to serve behind the line for the Jackrabbits to start up set number 3. Interestingly enough, they still haven't changed set number 2 off of the scoreboard, but hopefully they do. So Rachel Weber's serve is away, picked up by Oral Roberts. Sent back over, Madison Burr tries to get a block. That's to her right, and it goes out of bounds. Oral Roberts going to lead off right away here in set number 3. 0-1 over the Jackrabbits. Ansley Renard going to be serving for Oral Roberts here. Serve is away, picked up by Richardson. Hahn setting up Zonks. Zonks with the spike. And Roberts is running for it. They somehow recovered all the way over in the scorer's table. Hahn to Weber. Now it's Groves who sets down a spike. And Groves is going to get a kill here in the 3rd set after somehow Oral Roberts comes back. They're all over into the scorer's table playing the ball there. They get it back across the net, but it sets up Groves for the kill there. Madison Burr on the serve, picked up by De Jesus. Sent back over, Zonks to Hahn. Groves on the spike. And it's Renard on the dig. And here it comes back to the Jackrabbit side. Groves to Weber. Zonks with the spike across. Diving. They can't get there. Kill for Sylvie Zonks. Jackrabbit point, it's 2-1. Jack's leading by 1 as Rachel Weber, it's Madison Burr now still serving. And that one's going to go to the net. Service error for Madison Burr. It's 2-all here in set number 3. Biana Rivas, another one of liberos for Oral Roberts, serving. Serve is to Richardson. Hahn sets up Groves for the tip. And Groves will get the kill. 3-2, Jack's leading by 1. Groves now has 6 kills on the night. Riley Martin back in the game to serve if she gets the service ace here, breaking the record. Let's see. Riley Martin. Serve away, tips the top of the net, picked up by Rivas. Oral Roberts able to return this one. Martin on the dig. Ventling Brown bumping. Zonks with the spike, blocked up front, and point for Oral Roberts. Ties up set number 3 at 3 apiece. Trinity Freeman now serving for the Golden Eagles. Freeman's back. Rachel Weber picks it up. Martin to Shetnin. She sends a spike. Not effective, but Shetnin's going to get a block there. Maybe didn't even, maybe just straight into the net there by Oral Roberts. So 4-3. Jacks are up by 1. Sylvie Zonks serving now. Zonks serve, clears the net, out to the back row. Oral Roberts. It's Hope Hickman sending it back. Shetnin gets blocked on her spike attempt by Kentrot Burke. Oral Roberts tying up the 3rd set back at 4. So going to the back behind the line, Hope Hickman is going to serve. Four-piece here. Hickman serve, picked up by Richardson. Martin sets up Shetnin. Shetnin with the spike and the kill for the Jackrabbits. 5-4, Jack's up by 1. here in set number 3. Jocelyn Richardson, the libero, back behind the line. Richardson to the back row. Oral Roberts sends a massive spike in the face of Riley Martin down to the floor. It ties it up at 5 apiece. That was Kendron Burke on that spike again, and she's going to be back behind the line. Serving. Burke to Van Egdom. Martin setting up. Ventling Brown blocked. Point for Oral Roberts gives them the lead in the third set, 5-6. And it's going to be Burke still serving. Serve is out of bounds. Service error for Burke. Point for the Jacks, 6-all. Cameron Hahn behind the line, serving for the Jacks. Hahn's serve to the back row. Sent across by Renard. Zonk setting up Groves, and Groves into the block, but falling down in the Jackrabbit end. Point for Groves. And the Jackrabbits 7-6, leading now over Oral Roberts by 1. Hahn from the service line. And sent back over by Natasta Baptiste. And over by Cameron Hahn on their second hit. And a kill for Cameron Hahn. Point for the Jacks, 8-6. Cameron Hahn now serving for the Jacks. Hahn, serve away into the net. Service error for Hahn. Point for Oral Roberts, 8-7. Jacks up by 1. Set number 3. It would be the game, set, match here for the Jackrabbits if they're able to win this one. Here comes the serve by Rachel Resta. Zonks to Hahn. Van Egdom tries to tip over. It gets blocked, and Burr gets caught on the double touch. Ties up set number 3 at 8 apiece. Rachel Resta still serving. Resta's serve is out of bounds. Point for the Jackrabbits. 9-8. They lead it by 1 now. Here comes Rachel Weber. She's going to be serving. Rachel Weber from behind the line. Weber to the back right corner. Picked up there by Natasta Baptiste. Here comes a spike. Look out by Ainsley Renard. That one off the arms of Richardson and into the crowd. Nine apiece for set number 3. Ainsley Renard serving. Serve is to Richardson. Hahn sets up Burr. Burr tips above the block. Oral Roberts scrambling. They send back a spike. Picked up by Weber. Richardson sets up Zonks. Zonks sends a spike. Diving is the libero. Sent back a quick spike there. It's Trinity Freeman for the kill for the Golden Eagles. They take the lead again in set number 3. It's 9-10. Ainsley Renard still serving. Renard to Zonks. Hahn sets up Groves. Groves out of bounds on the left sideline. Oral Roberts taking another point. It's 9-11 now. And the Jackrabbits going to use one of their 2 timeouts here in the set. So we'll be back in about 30 seconds. You're listening to Collegiate Sports.
Hear that? That's the sound of your life. Perfectly imperfect. Beating in rhythm to the world you've created. But every time you drive after drinking, the music gets drowned out. Your life sounds pretty great. Don't let a buzz ruin it. Buzz driving is drunk driving. Don't drive buzzed. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back into First Bank at Trent Arena as Surfing USA plays and the wave spontaneously starts over here on the right side of the crowd. So that's cool. But we're in here, the third set. Oral Roberts leads it by 2. Jackrabbits just used a timeout. It's 9-11. As the Jacks are now down by 2. And it's Renard serving. Richardson bumps. Hahn setting up Zonks. Zonks gets blocked. Weber on the recovery, but sends it to the crowd. Point for Oral Roberts, starting to pull away in the third set. It's 9-12. Jacks are only down by 3. Ainsley Renard serving still. Richardson, Hahn, Burr. Burr lays down the hammer. Ten to 12 after the kill by Madison Burr. And it will be Burr serving. Burr's serve clears the top of the net. Picked up by Brianna Rivas. Sent back. Hahn on the dig. Burr's there, runs into Weber, but they are able to get it over to Zonks, who just bumps it over. Oral Roberts sets up a spike, and they send it out of the reach of Madison Burr. Point for Oral Roberts. That was Trinity Freeman on the left side of the net, sending those spikes. 10-13, Jacks down by 3. Set number 3, Rivas serving. Weber bumping, Hahn all the way across to Zonks, tips above the block, and a point, and a kill for Sylvie Zonks. Substitutions made. Here comes Riley Martin. She's going to be serving again. Needs another ace to break that record. Martin serving to the back row. Almost came awkwardly off the hands, but they recover. They send back a spike of their own off the fingertips of the block and out of bounds. Point for Oral Roberts there. I thought Martin had it that time. The bump came off spinning and low to the ground, but excellent recovery there by Oral Roberts. 11-14. Jacks down by 3. Richardson to Martin. Shetnin to the back row, into the scorer's table. They recover. Oral Roberts sends it back. Weber to Martin. Shetnin again. Shetnin sends a spike in the face of Rivas. And a kill for Sydney Shetnin. 12-14. Jacks in a 2-point deficit here. They have 1 timeout remaining. Oral Roberts has both of theirs here for the third set. Sylvie Zonks serving. Zonks clears the top of the net. Picked up by Freeman. Sent down by Hope Hickman out of bounds. Point for the Jackrabbits. 13-14. 1-point deficit for the Rabbits. Sylvie Zonks behind the line. Zonks serve. Picked up by Freeman. And Martin gets hit in the face off the spike by Kendron Burke, and it goes down on the Jackrabbit side, 13-15. Martin got slammed right in the right side of her face and not able to make a play on the ball. Came in fast. So here is Hope Hickman serving. Richardson to Martin. Van Igdam on the spike. And out of bounds, sent by Ainsley Renard. Point for the Jacks. 14-15. They're in a 1-point deficit. To the Golden Eagles. Jocelyn Richardson is serving for the Jacks. Picked up by the back row for Oral Roberts. Here comes Renard. Tipping above. Martin flies in for the dig. Bentley Brown sends a spike over, and it goes out of bounds. Point for Oral Roberts, 14-16. Jacks down by 2. Set number 3. Need to win this set to end the game. If Oral Roberts win, they force set number 4. And Kendron Burke serving for the Eagles. To the back row, Sylvie Zonks. Martin sets up Burr. Burr sends a spike and a kill for Madison Burr. 15-16. Jacks down by 1. Cameron Hahn in to serve. Hahn serve to the back right corner. A service ace for Cameron Hahn as Thenara De Jesus is late to react. Cameron Hahn in the game and serving. After the ace. Picked up that time by Rivas. Sent back by Renard. And a net violation on Oral Roberts gives the Jackrabbits the lead in set number 3, 17-16. Jacks up by 1. A timeout called by Oral Roberts will stay here. We'll look at some stats here. Team comparison, Jackrabbits have 100 attacks, 45 kills, 18 attacking errors. Hitting percentage as a team is 270. Oral Roberts, 78 attacks, 26 kills, 10 attack errors. Hitting percentage of 205. For the Eagles, it's Freeman who has the most kills. She has 9. 1 error, 20 total attacks. Hitting percentage of 400. She has 2 digs, 4 blocks as well. Ainsley Renard, she has 6 kills, 3 errors, 16 attempts. 188 is her hitting percentage, 3 digs, 1 block. Kendron Burke has 4 kills, 1 error, and 9, 9 total attempts. Triple threes on the hitting percentage, and 5 digs for her, 3 blocks as well. If we look down for the Jackrabbits, Sylvie Zonks now has 14 kills, hitting percentage of 276. Madison Burr has 10 kills, 769 on that hitting percentage. Very good for Madison Burr. She has no errors tonight on 13 total attacks. So working hard out there, Madison Burr. All right, we come back after the timeout by Oral Roberts. Both teams have 1 timeout remaining. Cameron Hahn is behind the line for the Jackrabbits serving. Hahn's serve is up to the back right corner, picked up by Oral Roberts and sent back. Hahn on the dig. Richardson bumping. Van Egdom is up and gets blocked. Burr sets up Van Egdom again. She gets it above the blockers this time and sent right back by Oral Roberts. Hahn to Richardson. Groves tips above and diving is Rivas. Sent back by De Jesus out of bounds to the right. Point for the Jacks. 18-16, they lead it by 2 in set number 3. Cameron Hahn serving still for the Jackrabbits. Tips the top of the net, but ends up on the Oral Roberts side. Coming back is Renard. Van Egdom, Hahn. Zonk sends a laser. Off the fingertips of the blockers and out of bounds. Zonk's on the kill. 19-16. Jacks up by 3 in set number 3. Cameron Hahn still serving. Hahn's serve is high but inbounds. Picked up by De Jesus. Sent down by Freeman. Hahn is there. Van Egdom to the back row. It's De Jesus. Hahn is there after the set over on 2. Groves sends a spike down to the center of the Oral Roberts side. And a kill for Alyssa Groves. It's 20-16. Jackrabbits up by 4 and on a run now. 5-0 over Oral Roberts. So, timeout called by Oral Roberts. We'll continue with a couple stats here that we've got going on here. South Dakota State. Sydney Shetnin, she has 6 kills tonight. 1 error, 14 attempts, hitting percentage of .357. 2 blocks up front for Shetnin. Groves also pretty active tonight. She has 8 kills, 4 errors, 15 total attempts. .267 on that hitting percentage for Groves. 2 digs, 1 block for her as well. Cameron Hahn has 2 kills tonight on 2 attempts, hitting percentage of 1,000. 18 assists for Hahn, 2 service aces, and 7 digs as well. Rachel Weber, she has 3 assists and 9 digs, and Riley Martin has 15 assists, 2 service aces as well, 10 digs for Martin. Then Jocelyn Richardson, the libero, she has 5 assists tonight as well as 6 digs for the Jackrabbit team. And our timeout coming to a close in about 10 seconds here. So we're back in action. Cameron Hahn set up behind the line, still serving for the Jacks. Hahn behind the line. Jacks just 5 points away from winning their last home game of the season. Hahn serving to the back row. A little miscommunication in the back row, but Oral Roberts seems to be on top of it. Sent over. Van Igdam, Hahn, Groves sending a spike. Diving is Rivas. And Oral Roberts able just to tip above Burr there and get the kill. That was Shelby Steen on the kill there for Oral Roberts. Rachel Resta serving now. 20-17. Jacks up by 3. Resta to Van Igdam. Hahn sets up Groves. Groves sends it down in the face of De Jesus. Groves on the block there. Oral Roberts all over it. They send back another one. It's Freeman. Richardson's there. Zonks sends a spike across. And that one's dug up. Oral Roberts still scrambling. And Freeman gets blocked up front. Bird pops it up in the air to the right and out of bounds. Point for Oral Roberts, 20-18. Jacks are up by 2. So Rachel Resta still serving for the Golden Eagles. Resta, Van Igdam's there. Hahn sets up Van Igdam for the spike. Sent down in bounds by Katie Van Igdam. Point for the Jacks, 21-18. Up by 3 now in set number 3. And it's Rachel Weber behind the line, serving now for the Jacks. Weber up and to Rivas. Oral Roberts, it's Freeman, sends it down. Hahn's there. Weber setting it up for Zonks. Zonks into the block, and Oral Roberts scrambles to recover. This time Burr's block is deflected onto the Jackrabbit side. Point for Oral Roberts. Kill there for Natasha Baptiste. And 21-19. Jacks are up by 2 here in set number 3. A little bit closer in the last 2 sets. Behind the line serving is Shelby Steen for the Golden Eagles. Steen's serve. Picked up by Weber. Hahn sets up Zonks. Zonks off the blockers and down. Point for the Jacks. Kill for Sylvie Zonks. 22-19. Jacks up by 3 still. Freshman Madison Burr behind the line and serving. To the back right corner, picked up by Rivas. Setting up her teammate, and she spikes it down inbounds in the near corner. Point for Oral Roberts. That was Hope Hickman on the kill. 22-20, Jacks up by 2 here. 3 points away from putting it away. Brianna Rivas serving. Picked up by Weber. Hahn to Shetnin. Shetnin with the spike in the face of Rivas. Kill for Sydney Shetnin. 23-20. Jackrabbits are ahead. And here comes Riley Martin. Martin serving. She gets a service ace here. She breaks the record. Martin serve to the back row. It's Rivas. Setting up Freeman down on the Jackrabbit side. Freeman sets it down on the court. And point for Oral Roberts, 23-21. Jacks up by 2. Trinity Freeman serving. Richardson's there. Martin sets up Shetland. Shetland to the back row. Picked up somehow by Sheen. And point for Oral Roberts there off the blocker's hands and out of bounds. Jackrabbit's going to take a timeout here. 23-22. 1 point ahead of Oral Roberts. So we'll take a break. We'll be back right now in 30 seconds on Collegiate Sports.
Get hurt in a game? We tough it out. Feel exhausted? We push on. Feeling down? We pull ourselves up by the bootstraps. But there are times when bootstraps aren't enough. When stress gets to us and we need to talk to someone about what we're really going through. So we're going to reach out, because sometimes mental health is not a one-person job. Visit loveyourmindtoday.org. That's loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to First Bank and Trust Arena. Set number 3 underway. Jackrabbits leading by 1, 23-22. If they win this set, they end it. And if Oral Roberts wins, they force set number 4 in the Jackrabbits' last home game of the season. Freeman serving. Richardson's there. Martin sets up Shetland. Shetland tipping. And Oral Roberts sends a spike. Richardson with an excellent dig. Martin to Shetland. Shetland tipping once again. Oral Roberts is there. Freeman with the spike. Weber diving. Martin to Zonks. Zonks to the back row. Oral Roberts now sending a spike. Richardson dives. Martin to Zonks. And out of bounds on the back line by Sylvie Zonks. Ties up set number 3, 23 all. Close one in set number 3. Trinity Freeman serving. Weber to Martin. All the way across to Zonks. Zonks tipping over. Oral Roberts scrambling. Weber to Martin. Zonks off 2 blockers and deflected out of bounds. Point for the Jackrabbits. And now it's match point in set number 3 for the Jackrabbits. It's 24-23, and it's number 10, Sylvie Zonks behind the line, serving. Zonks' serve is up, barely clears the top, but does. And then Oral Roberts is going to come and tip, blocked up front by Shetland. Return. Richardson's there. Shetland tipping above the blockers to the back row. Recovered by Steen and sent over by Rivas. Zonks gets there. Martin dives. Need to get over on this hit. Zonks sends it to the back row. Excellent clear by Zonks. A spike comes in. Richardson on the dig. Martin needs to get it over on hit number 3 near the scores table. They don't. And now it's 24 all in set number 3. Gonna go into extra points here. Need to win by 2. No timeouts remain. And it is Hope Hickman serving for Oral Roberts. There's Van Igdam to Martin, setting up Shetland. Shetland for the spike. Freeman's there. Oral Roberts sends it back. Martin on the bump. Zonks bumping. And it's Ventling Brown who sends a wild spike way long out of bounds. Oral Roberts takes the advantage. 24-25. It's set point now for Oral Roberts as Hope Hickman is serving. Hope Hickman, serve away. Richardson's there. Martin sets up Van Igdam. Van Igdam to the back row. It's Hickman. There's Freeman on the spike. Martin with the dig. Jocelyn Richardson sets up Van Igdam. Van Igdam spiking gets blocked. Shetland's there. Richardson bumping up for Van Igdam. She gets blocked again. Martin to Shetnin. And Richardson has to dive for the recovery. Shetnin just swats it back over. Oral Roberts scrambling. And now the Jackrabbits are scrambling. Zonks takes a dive. Martin to Van Igdam. And Van Igdam sends it wide right out of bounds. Point for Oral Roberts. They're going to take set number 3. And they force set number 4 here in First Bank in Trust Arena. I thought it was going to be an early night for me. I was going to go take a nice sleep, sleep in, get some extra rest, maybe watch some Thursday night football, who knows. But now I got to stay here for set number 4. It's 24-26 final score. Oral Roberts going to take that one in extra points. We'll be back in about 2.5 minutes for set number 4. Stick around.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning. The cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners. Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control.
Yikes!
So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by D.O. Bike and Fitness. Located at 1738 6th Street in Brooklyn, South Dakota, D.O. is a place for all things bikes. Offering top brands such as Trap and Electra, this close-to-campus store has both bike and e-bike options. Remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a bike, and that's pretty close. 692-2022 is the number to call for this full-service and sales store. D.O. is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio KSDJ 90.7.
Welcome back to First Bank in Trust Arena. This is Collegiate Sports. I'm Ben Anderson. Braden Byers with us back in the studio helping us out today. Set number 4 about to get underway. We switch sides. Jackrabbits are going to be on the far side. Golden Eagles on the near side to me now. And Oral Roberts will start off on the serve. So 2-1, Jackrabbits lead there. Set number 4. Jackrabbits able to put it away in this one, or Oral Roberts can force set number 5. Rachel Resta serving, picked up by Richardson. Hahn sets up Zonks. Zonks with the kill off the spike. Point for the Jacks. They lead it early in set number 4, 1-0. Freshman Madison Burr serving for the Jacks. Picked up by De Jesus. Spike comes in. There's Groves. And Zonk sends a spike of her own. And a kill there. As Thayanara De Jesus lands on top of her teammate Brianna Rivas, both diving for the same ball in the near corner. 2-0, Jacks up. Madison Burr still serving. De Jesus to Resta. Freeman on the tip over. No one's able to get there. For the Jackrabbits, Cameron Hahn was the nearest. 2-1, Jacks up by 1. Serving now, Shelby Steen for the Golden Eagles. Steen to the back row. Rachel Weber. Hahn sets up Groves. Groves with a laser. Groves gets a kill there. 3-1. Jacks up by 2. Riley Martin's back in serving. Let's see if she can break that record this time. You know, that's what they were doing. They just want to go to set 4 so Riley Martin can get another chance at that service ace record. Not this one. That one goes wide right out of bounds for Riley Martin's service error there. 3-2. Jacks up by 1. Brianna Rivas, the libero, serving for the Golden Eagles. Picked up by Weber. Martin scrambles and bumps it to Zonks. Zonks sends a spike. Dug up by Oral Roberts. Spiked back, and it's Weber on the dig. Shetland lays down a spike and a kill into the back row. 4-2, Jacks up by 2. After the kill by Shetland. Sylvie Zonks serving. Zonk's serve tips the top of the net. Diving is Steen. Zonk's on the dig. Martin to Van Igdam, tipping above the block. And that one goes out of bounds, sent by Hope Hickman. Point for the Jackrabbits. Zonk's still serving. Zonk's serve to the back row, picked up by Rivas. A spike sent by Burke is blocked up front by Shetland, and ORU is not ready for it. A kill off the block by Sydney Shetland. 6-2, Jackrabbits up by 4. Oral Roberts is going to take one of their 2 timeouts. So we'll be back in about 30 seconds right here on Collegiate Sports.
My name is Teresa Barber. I was in the United States Navy, and I served overseas in the Middle East and Africa. Early on in my career, I had a commander that taught our suicide prevention training, and the very next day, he took his own life. 90% of suicide attempts involving a gun are fatal. My way of continuing my service is to help protect my community by being a responsible gun owner and by storing firearms safely. Store all your guns securely. Help stop suicide.
Brought to you by End Family Fire and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to First Bank at Trust Arena. This is Collegiate Sports. I'm Ben Anderson. Brendan Byers with us in the studio. So set number 4 is underway. Jackrabbits leading by 4. It's 6-2. And Oral Roberts has used one of their timeouts. So Sylvie Zonk still serving for the Jacks. Serve comes in. A weird set off the hands by Steen. They're able to recover. Martin sets up Shetland, sends a spike. Oral Roberts is there. Freeman tips over. Martin's there. Van Igdam on the spike. Oral Roberts coming back the other way. Zonk sends it into the student section off of the attempted dig. 6-3. Jacks up by 3. Trinity Freeman behind the line. Freeman to Richardson. Martin sets up Shetland. Freeman returns it. Richardson, Martin, Van Igdam. near the corner, but out of bounds. Point for ORU. 6-4. Jacks up by 2. These later sets getting a little closer than comfortable. And we're going to have a challenge by the Jackrabbits. They're going to challenge that this one was inbounds. Now, I don't think it was. I think it was pretty far to the right and back on both of those. But we'll see. You know, they're going to take a look at it. Let's take a look at some stats that are going through the fourth set right now. For ORU, Trinity Freeman has 12 kills, 1 error on 30 total attempts, hitting percentage of .367. 5 digs for her, 4 blocks as well. Hope Freeman has 8 kills, 3 errors, 27 total attempts, a hitting percentage of .185. 4 digs for her as well. Ainsley Renard, she has 6 kills, 3 errors, 17 total attacks, 176 hitting percentage, 3 digs, 1 block for her. Kendrick Burke, 4 kills, 2 errors, 11 total attempts, hitting percentage of .182, 5 digs, 3 blocks for her. Call's going to stand. Oral Roberts is going to maintain that point. I thought it would. As that one looked a little bit out of bounds from my angle. And keep in mind, I do not have the best angle either, but it was out of bounds. So Freeman serving. Picked up by Van Egdom. Martin sets up Shetland. Shetland sends a spike. Dug up by Oral Roberts. Sent back by Hickman. And Zonks takes a dive. Gets it with one arm. And Van Egdom sends it back over. And there's going to be a kill for Van Egdom. Brianna Rivas touched it, and it went sky high and backwards into the crowd. 7-4. Jacks up by 3. Jocelyn Richardson serving. Richardson to Rivas. Blocked up front by Burr on the direct set attempt. Net violation. No, it's not a net violation. It's going to be 4 hits on Oral Roberts. Point for the Jacks, 8-4. Jocelyn Richardson serving. Picked up by Rivas. Sent over to Hope Hickman, and Hickman gets a kill there after being touched by the Jacks and going out of bounds. 8-5, Jacks up by 3. And Hope Hickman is serving. Hickman from behind the line to Zonks, Martin. Ventling Brown inside. Point for the Jacks off the kill by Anna Lee. Ventling Brown, 9-5. Jacks lead it by 4 here in set number 4. Groves and Cameron Hahn come in. Cameron Hahn will be serving. Hahn serve. Up and to Steen. Sent over by Burke, and point for Oral Roberts. Off the spike there by Burke, and Burke will be serving. Burke serving to Zonks. There's Hahn. Zonks with the spike. Picked up by Burke and tipped over by Natessa Baptiste. And off the hands of the blockers, out of bounds. Point for Oral Roberts. 9-7. ORU ahead. Excuse me, ORU behind by 2. They just scored, though. And Kendrick Burke is serving. Van Egdom going to get a chance to spike it into the face of Rachel Resta off the block. Ends up on the ORU side. Point for the Jacks. 10-7, Jacks leading by 3. Rachel Weber behind the line and serving. Picked up there by Steen. Steen's going to get a chance to spike it and point for the Jackrabbits. Close to being touched there by Groves and Burr. They say they don't touch it before it goes out of bounds. And point for the Jacks there. Rachel Weber serving once again. It's 11-7. Weber's serve. Picked up by De Jesus. Sent over by Solo Barrera. Hahn to Zonks. Zonks with a spike. Kill for Sylvie Zonks, 12-7. Jacks up by 5 here in set number 4. Oral Roberts has 1 timeout remaining. Weber still serving. Weber behind the line. Serve is away. Picked up by Rivas. Hans there. Weber sends it back over. And a block up front by Zonks. Gives the Jacks the point. 13-7. Jacks ahead by 6. And a timeout's going to be called by ORU. That's their last timeout of the set. So we'll take about a 30-second break as Hot to Go plays here in First Bank and Trust Arena. We'll be right back.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by locally owned Brookings PowerQuest. Located in the University Mall at 820 22nd Avenue South, you can find everything your ride needs. From essential auto parts to top-notch accessories and customer service, PowerQuest is a one-stop shop for Brookings. Their phone number is 692-6298. PowerQuest is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio, KSDJ 90.7.
Welcome back to First Bank and Trust Arena. I am Ben Anderson. Brandon Byers with us in the studio. It's set number 4. Jacks leading by 6, 13-7 here. If they win this set, they win the match. If Oral Roberts wins, they force set number 5. Rachel Weber will be serving for the Jackrabbits. Weber's serve to the back row, picked up by Rivas. And it'll be Renard who sends a spike. Weber on the dig. Burr sends a spike of her own. Recovered by Oral Roberts. And a block up front by Alyssa Groves off the spike from Ainsley Renard. Gives a kill for the Jackrabbits. 14-7. Jacks up by 7 now. Eagles out of timeouts. Rachel Weber still serving. Weber's serve to the back row. Picked up by Farinara de Jesus. Tipped over by Renard. Recovered by the Jacks and sent back over. Oral Roberts sends it towards Groves. Groves just going to send it down to the first hit. Point for the Jacks. 15-7. Jacks up by 8 now. Rachel Weber still serving. Weber over to Freeman. And a block up front by Groves, and again a kill. 16-7. Jacks up by 9 now. Weber still serving. Jacks on a 7-0 scoring run. Weber to the back row. A spike comes in, sent by Natasha Baptiste. Inbounds, kill there for Oral Roberts. 16-8, Jacks up by 8. Here is Rachel Resta serving. Richardson's there. Hahn across to Zonk. Zonk sends a spike. De Jesus is there. And tipped over by Renard. Jacks returning. Hahn to Groves. Groves sends a spike and another kill for Alyssa Groves. 17-8. The Jacks now up by 9. In comes Sophie Johnson, and she will be serving for the Jackrabbits. Johnson's serve clears the net and picked up by ORU. Here comes a spike, blocked up front by Shetnin. 18-8, Shetnin with the block and the kill. Sophie Johnson still serving. Serve comes in, picked up by Freeman. Freeman bumps forward, but there's no one in front of her to get there. And an ace for Sophie Johnson. 19-8. Jackrabbits doubling the score of ORU in the fourth set. Sophie Johnson still serving after the ace. ORU's there. Shetnin lays it down after the dig came too close to the net. Shetnin goes up for the duck and slams it down in the face of Oral Roberts. 20-8. Jacks up by 12. Running away with the fourth set. Sophie Johnson serving. Tips the top of the net and over. Clears the top of the net and another ace for Sophie Johnson. Sophie Johnson still serving. 21-8. Jacks ahead. Johnson, another ace. Another ace for Sophie Johnson. Another ace. She has 3 in this set. In the last few points, Sophie Johnson, another service ace. She's still serving. 22-8. Oh my gosh, almost. Oral Roberts gets there. Almost another service ace for Johnson. There was a collision. But there comes the Jackrabbits. It's Groves again for the kill. 23-8. And it will be Sophie Johnson still serving. Johnson serve, picked up by the back row. Zonk sends a heater. Shetnin sends a heater. These are coming too close to the net off the digs. Weber's there. Shetnin to Zonk, sends it over the net. Oral Roberts is all over it, setting up their teammate, and off the hands of the blockers, a kill there for Shelby Steen and Oral Roberts. 23-9. Sophie Johnson gets subbed out of the game, and the crowd erupts here in First Bank and Trust Arena. Serve away by Oral Roberts. Hahn setting up. Groves with the spike and the kill off the tip. And now it's match point, 24-9 over Oral Roberts in set number 4. Match point in the last home game of the season. And it's Riley Martin behind the line. Riley Martin, serve away, picked up by Rivas. Back across by Oral Roberts. Richardson's there, pops it straight up. Martin bumps. Ventling Brown sends a spike. Dug up by Oral Roberts. They send back a spike of their own. Out of bounds! Out of bounds! The Jackrabbits win it! Three sets to 1. The Jackrabbits win set number 4, 25-9 over the Golden Eagles. The Jackrabbits advance to 24-1, moving on against North Dakota on Saturday. But this is the last home game for the Jackrabbits senior night here tonight. Congratulations to seniors Rachel Weaver, Sophie Johnson, Annalie Ventling Brown, Alyssa Groves, and Cameron Hahn playing their last home game here at First Bank and Trust Arena as seniors for the Jackrabbits. Jackrabbits win it 3-1. Huge game for the Jackrabbits, and they move on to 2 more games before going to the Summit League Championship there. Huge. Riley Martin also tying up the all-time service ace record at 36 for the Jackrabbits. good accomplishment for Riley Martin. Hopefully she breaks that one in the next 2 games here. Hopefully the next game. And she'll have that record in the books. So, I've been Ben Anderson. It's always good to see the Jackrabbits win. Braden Byers coming up right after this with a post-game report, so make sure you stick around. But as always, go big, go blue, go Jacks. Have a good night, everybody.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
Stop. That dog does not want to be petted.
Just a little heads up before something bad happens.
Move your coffee cup away from your computer.
Oh, no.
So you can have more control.
Stop. You're texting your boss by mistake.
Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warning, the cap is loose on that ketchup.
Ugh. Don't wait. You have the power to change the outcome. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners. Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control.
Yikes!
So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This portion of KSDJ 90.7's broadcast is brought to you by D.O. Bike and Fitness. Located at 1738 6th Street in Brooklyn, South Dakota, D.O. is a place for all things bikes. Offering top brands such as Trap and Electra, this close-to-campus store has both bike and e-bike options. Remember, you can't buy happiness, but you can buy a bike, and that's pretty close. 692-2022 is the number to call for this full-service and sales store. D.O. is a proud sponsor of SDSU Student Radio KSDJ 90.7.
The South Dakota State volleyball team gets a win tonight to cap off their home schedule. They defeat the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles by a score of 3-1. Hello, everybody. Welcome into your post-game report. Braden Byers here along with you. It was senior day today, and the Jackrabbits get a 3-1 win over the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles. As I mentioned, 25-17, 25-19. ORU got set number 3, 26-24 in an extra point, but the Jacks battle back in a big way, getting the fourth set, 25-9. In this post-game report, we're going to take a look at the final stats from this one, take a swing around the Summit League, and see how things are shaping up as we enter into the last couple of games left in the regular season here before we head off to Kansas City in just a couple of weeks' time to decide who will be representing the Summit League in the NCAA tournament coming up not too far away from here. But first, let's begin here, back here in Brookings over at First Bank and Trust Arena. Starting off with some of the team stats for Oral Roberts. 159 hitting percentage, 40 kills on 132 attacks, only 19 attack errors for the Golden Eagles. They had 1 service ace, 55 digs as a team, 6 blocks. Their side-out percentage at 52% here tonight. Leading the way for Oral Roberts in kills, Trinity Freeman. She had 12 of them. She had 2 errors and 32 total attacks for a hitting percentage of .312. She also had 5 digs and 4 blocks. Other kill getters for Oral Roberts, Hope Hickman with 9 kills, Ainsley Renard with 6, Kedron Burke with 5, Natasha Baptiste with 4, Shelby Steen with 2, Jenna Salyer with 2, and that rounds it out for Oral Roberts. On South Dakota State side, 154 attacks for them, 65 kills, and 22 attack errors for a hitting percentage of .279 today to outpace the Oral Roberts Golden Eagles in that category. 8 service errors, 9 service aces, 69 digs, 9 blocks, and a side-out percentage of 72.2% for South Dakota State. There were 3 double-digit kill earners here tonight for the Jackrabbits, and leading the way, Sylvie Skunts. She had 20 of them, 7 errors, 43 total attacks for a hitting percentage of .302. She had 2 assists, 10 digs as well, so a double-double here tonight for Skunts, and no blocks. Alyssa Groves on senior night, the grad transfer, getting 13 kills of her own, 4 errors, 22 total attacks for a .409 hitting percentage, 3 digs, and 4 blocks for Groves as well. And Madison Burr totaling 10 kills on the night, no errors, and 14 total attacks for an astounding hitting percentage of .714. She had 1 service ace, 1 dig, and 4 blocks as well. And other kill getters here tonight for South Dakota State, Sydney Shetnin, she had 9, Katie Van Egdom had 7, Annalie Vettling Brown had 4, and Cameron Hahn had 2. That rounds out the individual stats there, and again, South Dakota State getting the 3-1 win over Oral Roberts here tonight on senior night. The final home game for the Jackrabbits, 25-17, 25-19, 24-26, and 25-9. Let's go ahead and switch gears here a little bit. Going to take a spin around the Summit League, and only a handful of games happening tonight. Not too many teams in the Summit League here, but we'll start down in Omaha, and where the Mavericks are hosting the Pioneers tonight, and the Mavericks get a 3-0 win, totaling 25-18, 25-20, and 25-15 in straight sets there for Omaha. The leading point getter, McKenna Roosh, with 12 kills, Michaela Tart with 3 aces, Emily Hughes with 5 blocks, Julia Owens with 19 assists, and Erica Fava with 6 digs for the Mavs here tonight. Also going on, this time up in Grand Forks, North Dakota, the Fighting Hawks hosting the Kansas City Roos, and the Roos go up to Grand Forks, and they get the sweep, 25-20, 25-22, and 25-17, the final score in that one. 3-0, the final score in favor of Kansas City. Kaya Dunford with 13 kills, Sydney Henry with 3 aces, Kaylee Defbaugh with 5 blocks, Sydney Henry with 32 assists, and Leah Green with 13 digs. And one still going on, and it's very tightly contested. If you remember earlier on in the year, I mentioned that St. Thomas, who's the team that gave South Dakota State their one and only loss so far this year, had beaten USD as well, one of the top teams in the Summit League this season. Well, they might just do it again. They're up 24-23 in set number 4, and they are winning in sets 2-1 as we speak. Currently, they're in a timeout. I have it up on a monitor, keeping track of it. We'll circle back to that one and let you know the result of that one, because that could adjust some of the standings here in the Summit League as well. But with the win, South Dakota State moves into 13-1 overall in the conference. Again, that one loss being to that St. Thomas team who's on the verge of potentially beating South Dakota and sweeping South Dakota this season. And they're out in St. Paul right now, so the Tommies have a little bit of the home court advantage, and it looks like they've just done it, a 25-23 final in set number 4, and St. Thomas 3-1 will defeat the South Dakota Coyotes. So we'll hold off just a couple of minutes before going through the standings, let the website update so I don't have to do all that math manually because it gets a little bit rough. But South Dakota State, with this win, they tie their program best for Summit League wins in a single season. The last time they won 13 conference games was in 2007. That was the team's first season in the Summit League. And, of course, today I mentioned it's senior night. The Jackrabbits honoring Rachel Weber, Sophie Johnson, Annalie Ventling-Brown, Alyssa Groves, and Cameron Hahn as part of tonight, their final home match in First Bank & Trust Arena this first year, as it being called First Bank & Trust Arena and a couple of modifications, but Frost Arena being the home before that. So the seniors going out in style tonight, advancing to 24-1 overall. And again, as I mentioned, 13-1 in the Summit League, and they're still in first place. Omaha is in second, 12-2 in the conference season. It's pretty much after the South Dakota loss. I think it's pretty fair to say it's between the Mavericks and the Jackrabbits. Now, the Jackrabbits have the tiebreaker in that one, having swept Omaha in the season series already and not having to play them again unless they meet up in the conference tournament. But it's the regular season title is going to go down to South Dakota State or Omaha. And it's going to be tightly contested in the conference tournament, no doubt. But that's what we're looking at for the regular season tally as well. Sitting behind them is going to be South Dakota. They're at 10-4 in the Summit League season. They're not going to drop down to fourth, but that 4 losses makes it a tough hill to climb. I'm not going to say they're officially out of the race for the regular season crown, but it's going to be a tough hill to climb for the Coyotes trying to build back from this. St. Thomas sitting at 9-6 in fourth place. Again, they won't move, but definitely that puts a little bit more of a gap between them and North Dakota State, who's behind them at 6-8. And then the cutoff for the conference tournament probably going to be after Denver, who sits at 6-9 after today. And then the bottom 3 being Kansas City at 4-10, North Dakota at 2-12, and Oral Roberts as well at 2-12. So that's the volleyball standings here coming up after tonight. And then after tonight, we only have 2 more match days left. It's going to be this Saturday and next Tuesday. And that's when we're going to wrap this whole thing up, and we're going to get the seedings after that Tuesday night next week, November 19th. So definitely a night to circle if you're a Summit League volleyball fan, but especially if you're a Jackrabbit fan, as that's the night that they head down to Vermilion. And that's going to be a good one between the Yotes and the Jacks. Let's go ahead and switch gears now from just volleyball specific into more athletic wide. I'll give you an update. The men's basketball team out in Rapid City right now taking on Northern Colorado. And the Jacks are down 58-40. They're about 6 minutes into the second half there at the Monument Arena out in Rapid City, a special game going out West River to show off some men's basketball for South Dakota State. And right now they're losing 58-40 as we sit here in the Central Time Zone. They're out in the Mountain Time Zone, so it's only 8:15 out there for them. But that's an update on what else is going on tonight. But looking forward, a little bit of a breather tomorrow for us here at Collegiate Sports, but not Jackrabbit Athletics at all. The women's soccer team qualifying for the NCAA tournament, they're going to be over in St. Paul, and they're going to be taking on the Minnesota Golden Gophers in the first round of the NCAA tournament. That's going to be at 6 p.m. You can watch that one on ESPN+. Again, that's going to be in St. Paul against the Minnesota Golden Gophers in the first round of the NCAA tournament for women's soccer. And then wrestling opens up their home season against Augustana. That one is going to be at First Bank and Trust Arena at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. That's going to be available to watch on Midco Sports Plus as part of the new agreement between the wrestling team and Midco Sports. So that's exciting news. So you can actually watch that as part of the Midco Sports One bundle that includes the Summit League Network as well. So you can get a full dose of Jackrabbit athletics there. Then the wrestling team heads out to, a couple members of them head out to State College to take part in the National Wrestling Coaches Association All-Star Classic. That'll be on Saturday. Also on Saturday, Jackrabbit Volleyball back in action. That'll be up in Grand Forks at 11 a.m. Against North Dakota. And that will be their second to last game here in the regular season. And then football at 2 p.m., Southern Illinois against South Dakota State. That's available to watch on Midco Sports and ESPN Plus, and also available to listen. That will be on Collegiate Sports and KSDJ FM. Then looking forward to Sunday, a big matchup there. Of course, the Warren Williamson Daktronics Invitational still going to be going on in the S-Jack all day that Sunday, but women's basketball team going to be hosting Duke, 16th ranked in the country. That one going to be a big game for the Jackrabbits, as that'll be in First Bank and Trust Arena at 2:30 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. Again, that one's available to watch on CBS Sports Network, but also available to listen to on Collegiate Sports and KSDJ Radio. So a couple of busy days for Jackrabbit Athletics. Definitely, we're in the midst of it, and we're right along there with them here in this busy crossover season, as we like to call it. But that's going to do it here for us. A final score of 3-1. South Dakota State closes out the home portion of their schedule with a win here tonight on senior night over Oral Roberts, 3-1, 25-17 in set number 1, 25-19 in set number 2, 26-24 in favor of Oral Roberts in set number 3, and 25-9 in set number 4 in front of 1,414 in First Bank and Trust Arena. That's going to do it. We'll wrap things up here for Ben Anderson, wonderful play-by-play man all season long for Jackrabbit Volleyball. I'm Braden Byers saying so long, and we will see you again on Saturday for Jackrabbit Football right here on Collegiate Sports. Have a good night, everybody.
You're listening to 90.7 KSDJ Brookings.
You're listening to 90s at 9. We're playing nothing but the best from the 90s. We've got 90s hits for the next 90 minutes, minus 30. Only the best here on KSDJ 90.7.
Yeah, Spider-Man and freezing, full effect.
You ready, Ron?
I'm ready.
You ready, Dave?
I'm ready, Slick, are you?
Oh yeah, take it down.
Girl, I must warn you. I sense something strange in my mind. Yo, situation is, let's cure it 'cause we're